Are you newer to Atlanta and trying to figure out how to explore and learn this city during COVID? We're about to give you an inside look. Welcome to the Landis Look, where we take an inside look at the world of real estate. I'm Justin, and today I'm here with Haley. Hey, Haley.
Hey, Justin. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here. Haley is newer to the city. She's an awesome agent on our team, and she hasn't been in Atlanta that long, so she's had to continue to get to know and explore Atlanta during COVID. She's going to give us some inside tips into how to do that. So Haley, first, where'd you move from and how long have you been in Atlanta?
Sure. So we moved from Nashville last June, so June 2019. So we've been here a little over a year. We just don't know anyone, so we're trying to dive out and do all the things and meet all the friends.
So you got here in June, you had a little bit of time, you got to see the great fall football weather in Atlanta, and you're like, oh, our first spring, this is going to be so much fun, so many festivals. But then what have you done since March to continue to get to know people and learn the city? What did you do when COVID first happened?
Oh, it's hard. We get out, we walk daily, normally twice a day. We have a huge German Shepherd dog. So we get out and walk, which is great. We sometimes will go to the park and have a picnic and try to support a small business in the area with food, get something to eat, take it to the park and socially distant. But yeah, that's all you can do is kind of walk around.
Yeah, so you get to spend probably more time like walking around outside. I feel like, we have done that, and as I just observe the sidewalks in the parks, I think a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah, definitely. It's you see a lot more people out and about these days, and that we live right off the Beltline, so the Beltline has been huge, but it is very busy. So now we've kind of taken the other routes of the neighborhoods and been more on the sidewalks, which has been nice to kind of get a neighborhood feel.
Yeah, that's a definite way to get to know a town is, go for a walk, go for a run, go for a bike ride and see the city. What about meeting? So that's a way to learn the city, and you can sample the food and sample what's open. But what about meeting actual people? That seems like that would be harder to do than just to explore the city.
For sure. I'm still learning. Still trying to meet people. I would say joining groups, whether it be a Facebook group, and try to do right now one-on-one connections are really huge with COVID and everything. So trying to socially distance and do those rather than like large groups. Joining groups, joining maybe a church, or meeting someone in your apartment complex or a neighbor down the street is really helpful to kind of engage with people that are outside your household.
Yeah. And you told me a story recently. We had someone that came and spoke at our team meeting, and you just reached out to her proactively and were like, hey, you want to go get coffee, which you told me may not have been your normal nature, but
definitely not.
That's also something to consider as well, right?
Yeah, outside my wheelhouse for sure. She seems nice and fun. I'd like to go get coffee and meet people and learn about them. And I was interested in the things that she was talking to us about. I wanted to learn a little more. So I reached out, and she was open to going to get coffee. And yeah, we had a great conversation. So it was great.
So it was painless. Like you reached out to someone you didn't know, and then they said yes, and they ended up being awesome.
Yeah, it's scary for sure. But once we got comfortable and we were enjoying coffee, then the conversation just flowed.
Yeah. And I've noticed that for me socially as well. We are naturally super social, and we do a lot of stuff, but a lot of it would happen organically. And now, I think you do have to be more intentional to meet people or do things, because you obviously have to do it in a way that's safe and comfortable. And it's not just, hey, I bumped into a group of 30 people. You just don't do that.
It's not so organic these days. You have to make it happen. So
yeah. So, what are some of the things that you've learned about the city that you've loved the most this year?
Oh man. I find that every time we go for a walk, we find something that we did not know, even though we take normally the same route every single day, twice a day. Whether it's a park or a restaurant that we didn't know about, or a little coffee shop that just popped up. So doing that and learning all the ins and outs is probably the best way that we've seen the city versus just kind of driving around. And you get a real feel for it when you're on the ground walking and seeing it firsthand.
What's the best place you've picked up food from this year?
Oh goodness. We really like anything at Krog Street Market. That's near us. So anything over there really gives you a good variety of lots of different things. If I'm wanting something, my husband's wanting something different, we can both have what we want and go to the same place.
Love it. Any other advice that we haven't hit on for meeting people or exploring the city during COVID?
I would say get outside as much as possible, whether that's biking, whether it's walking, whether it's going to a new park maybe that you haven't been to, even if you have to drive to that park, and then getting out and meeting people throughout the park that are also out and about.
Yeah. I love that advice. Get out, just do more, go more places. Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's great advice.
Be
Awesome.
open to it.
Yeah. I mean, thanks so much for your time today and for the inside look. And I'm glad that you've made good progress this year, even if the year wasn't what you thought it would be. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions about anything specific in Atlanta, I mean, we have folks that live all throughout the city. Haley, be happy to give you more insight. Just drop us a private message like so many of you do. And we will see you again next week. Thanks again, Haley. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin.
All right. See you guys next week. Bye.